As all of you know, I am someone that prides himself on being calm and collected. No! No! You know, it is difficult to get me to get upset. However, this replay and the accompanying email made me transition from being the Dutch Yoda, as my friends call me, due to my calm and my sage advice, as well as my tiny lightsaber, into someone whose jimmies were severely rustled, may I say. Okay, Heaven's Devil sent me this email. And Heaven's Devil, for a bit of context, is someone who works full-time as a doctor, 60 hours a week. In his free time, he volunteers at the firefighting department and works at the local animal shelter as well. Okay, and Heaven's Devil, he plays 3 games a week. The Sunday night, you know, he puts his 3 daughters to bed, gives them a kiss on the forehead, tells his wife, I'll give you a massage with a nice new good-smelling massage oil later tonight, but first I want to game a little bit. So he walks over to his garage, which he turned into a bit of a man cave. You know, he has a darts board in there and a beautiful computer setup that he loves to use. And he loves playing StarCraft 2. So he loads up the game, gets into Tourmaline, finds a Zerg, and he loves playing against Zerg because against Zerg he has one strategy, and he's about to deploy that strategy here as well, Heaven's Devil. Okay, he immediately sends his first 2 SCVs across the map because while in real life Heaven's Devil is pretty much, he's an angel, you know? He's an angel that has earned his wings many times over. In-game, he's a bit of a prick. He just freaking loves proxying. He can't help it. He giggles to himself as he sends the SCVs across the map, finds a good location on the map to proxy. He does it all in the moment. He doesn't send the SCV staggered to maximize income. He doesn't get a 14 SCV before he builds his depot. No, he doesn't care about any of that type of stuff because he is 2800 MMR and he just wants to proxy 2 barracks on the other side of the map. So he sends 2 SCVs there and he's giggling, he's laughing. He's like, oh, no one's gonna find this spot because good lord, is this a spot that no one without map hacks would scout. However, what Heaven's Devil doesn't know at this moment is that his opponent is a massive freaking loser. This Barcode Zerg, who does nothing but sit on his computer and goon all day and sometimes queues up ladder games to ruin the lives of other people, is no regular hacker. And when I read this email, I actually was confused. I thought that Heaven's Devil made a mistake because in the email it said, when I checked the vision of my opponent, it looked like he was zoomed out. And I read that and I thought, oh my god, we have another idiot sending me emails because that just doesn't happen. I've seen zoom out hacks before, but the zoom level is always standard. And the way that you spot these guys is because things are happening off screen that isn't in the actual screen. This requires quite a bit of detective work, and I've covered this in previous hacking videos as well. However, when I opened this replay and I checked, what happens when you go in the first-person camera of this pathetic Zerg player is you actually zoom out. This has to be like the homemade version of an actual decent hack, because I've never seen this in my life. For the people that are not aware, there are 3 different zoom levels in StarCraft 2 that you can use when you're observing. So you have the standard zoom level, which is this. Then you have the zoomed out, level 1. And then you have the double zoom. Now, the double zoom is what this pathetic Zerg player here is using. This is their standard view. I don't understand why you would want it to be so that it can easily be spotted in a replay. Like I said, I've never seen this before. So not only is this man using map hacks, as well as probably some type of production tab hack, if I'm being real honest, but on top of that also a zoom out hack that is super easily spotted. Now, it is good news for us, because it makes it really easy for me to just send this replay to Blizzard and then pray to the good Lord that Blizzard is going to do something with it. But at the same time, it makes me wonder what type of a person would even do this. Like, we're talking about 2800 MMR. Now, I don't want to talk bad about people that don't play the game a whole lot and are thus stuck below 3k MMR, but this just feels weird. It feels like cheating when it is much easier. Like the time that it took for this person to download this hack or to create it himself because it's such a piece of garbage. Like the time it took him to do that, he could have just improved most likely past that level by like Googling a build order and practicing it against the AI a little bit. Like if your goal is actual improvement, it would be fairly simple to get, or like getting a higher MMR. Like this is not someone that's pretending to be Grandmaster. Like this is someone that's pretending to be Silver 1 instead of Silver 2. This is the equivalent of going into a gym and bench pressing 10 kilos with plastic weights. It's like like, who are you impressing here? Your cat? It's like, I just don't understand what the point is of it. And once again, I'm not talking bad about people that are stuck at 3k MMR and, you know, and that they can't go past it. But it's like, what are you doing here? Like, this guy has freaking 20 APM or whatever. It's like 48 APM. Like, this is so freaking pathetic. It's just... and very often, honestly, I can understand why hackers hack. Because StarCraft 2 is a freaking difficult game, okay? And if there's a way, you know, to maybe put on some training wheels, or to get out of the MMR hell that you think you're in because you keep on getting cheesed, and if only you wouldn't get cheesed, you would, you know, be capable of getting Diamond or Diamond 2 or Masters 1 or whatever it is that you think you're being held back by. I understand it, but here, I really just don't. Like, he's constantly screen peeking. It is blatantly obvious in the replay as well, because you have this weird zoom out setup that I've never seen in my entire life. It's like, I just don't understand why you would even go through the trouble of downloading hacks while you're at this level. Like, I just don't get it. And the follow-up here, by the way, that Heaven's Devil is going for is a 4 Rex with a late tech lab. This is by no means a good build. It is a pretty freaking terrible build, if I'm being real honest. It wasn't scouted because all the overlords stayed at home, and of course Heaven's Devil at this point probably knows that he's playing against a map hacker. What pisses me off here, maybe even more, is the poor response that this Zerg is doing. Like, look at what's happening here, okay? We have a single Marine, Lynx without speed, and 4 Baneling flank. Like, if the Baneling actually gets clicked here, it gets right-clicked, it dies, and you split a little bit, you can probably win with these Marines. The drone count is also extremely close. Yes, there is a natural here for the Zerg player that Heaven's Devil doesn't have, but still, it feels like if you have full information and this is the response that you're going for, like, you're never gonna get out of here. Like, actually never. You could just build like 3 queens and 2 spine crawlers and have 35 drones. Or you could just get roaches, like if you want a blind hard counter, like roaches of freaking 20 drones and maybe 2 gases. That would be so good. But here we see someone that obviously has zero clue about the game that he's playing. And despite having full information, can't even articulate an appropriate response to this build order that isn't even a build order. Like, it is just freaking pathetic. And this is something I also often see with lower level hackers, is they're so bad at reading what's going on, even when they have full information, that they still can't get a decent response. And look at Heaven's Devil. I just wanted to really highlight this. He sends out the XD in all caps, so you can see he was probably a bit frustrated, but then within the second, the freaking GG out of there as well. You know, still calls a good game. Now, if Heaven's Devil here would have, you know, used his high-level context as a doctor to look up who the hell this Barcode was and put out a hit on him, I would have also expected it. But instead, you know, he turned the freaking other cheek. What would Heaven's Devil do? What would he do? Well, he GG's out like this. So this is really just a public service announcement for really that this guy, this Zerg player, is really just pathetic. That is really what it is. And shout out to Heaven's Devil, man. Keep doing what you do. Keep rocking. Keep saving those lives all day and coming back, taking care of your family and your local community, man. You're a freaking hero. All right, it's going to be it for me today. Quick hacker replay. I will be sending this to Blizzard. Like I said, I have no magical powers, but I really do hope that this one does get banned, because this is freaking pathetic, okay? Save the Silver League, boys. That's what we're here to do. All right, shout out to you all.